Hey team, thanks for stopping by to take a look at another video. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of time. I've been exploring the map for you guys. Want to go ahead and bring you guys a top 5 base locations video. You guys know that's kind of my thing, and I think I found some pretty decent ones. Now, I do need to preface this a couple of, actually I need to preface this a lot. There's a lot of different things going on with this map. More specifically, this is like the biggest PvE map I've ever seen. They did a great job in building it in terms of I wasn't able to find a whole lot of weird flaws that they seem to tend to have in this game. And what I mean is you're not going to find a whole lot of weird rat holes. You're not going to find a whole lot of weird glitched spots, or at least I haven't found it yet. Obviously, we know that's subject to change, and I plan on seeing if I can find a couple of those and putting up like a, like a top 5 hidden base location, something like that coming up here in the future. So expect that. If you guys are looking for more of something like that, that's not what this is going to be. This is going to be more aimed at official PvP, big base locations, something you're looking to kind of keep it up off the ground because we don't really have a whole lot of other options. So with that in mind, I do need to go ahead and preface the video with one quick thing here really fast. The biggest thing is that a lot of the, well, a couple of the base locations you can't actually build directly on. You just like this spot specifically, you can't put any foundation. And what you actually end up having to do to build here specifically is you have to use a cliff platform. If you don't know this trick, what you can do with a cliff platform, so as of right now you can't build anything here. However, if you put a cliff platform down first, put a pillar down, we might need to make this one a little bit higher. Let's go over here. You need to make sure it's actually pretty high because you need the foundation to be pretty high as well. Let's go ahead and put this down. Now we should be able to build, maybe, below. Okay, that one might be a little bit too high. This little demonstration is not going so hot. Sorry guys, give me 2 seconds. Let's see if we can get this working for you guys so you can actually see exactly what we're talking about. It's gonna be, I guess, a little bit of a tips and tricks video for you too. Okay, that one should work. Let's see. And bam, there we go. So now I can actually build anywhere I want as long as it's connected to one of these. And the other thing you can actually end up doing is you can just completely remove this. If you take it out, pick it up, demolish it, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You can still continue to go ahead and build off of these. And that's one thing you're going to need to keep in mind for this base build locations. This map is not the best for resources. This map is not the best really for anything except for a good PvP or PvE experience from what I can tell. And one other thing I need to note is if you actually try and build on this map anywhere, you can see these big purple boxes. It's an option. If you don't see it, there's an option in, where's my Helena? There's an option inside Helena. I think it's inside Helena settings. Let's see, show mission, not this one. Set compact mode, only visible. I don't know. Anyway, if you look in here, she's got the option to actually show it. But if you try and build something, you can see these big purple boxes. If they're yellow, that means you're inside of one of them. But anyway, they're big purple areas. If you try and build in one of these purple areas, you can't do it. So they did a pretty good job of actually utilizing the areas and making it so you can't build in areas they don't want you to build in. So I did have to get a little bit creative here. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you the top build location for each one of the biomes that I could personally find. It's not necessarily going to be in any particular order. I did order it 1 through 5 specifically because I feel like that's how I would build in them, or the recommendation that I would put, but you can probably build in any one of them and get away with it. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the video. And I apologize for the long intro. Here we go. Starting with number 5, we're going to go and jump into the water biome. Now, water biome does have quite a bit of it actually marked off, and part of the reason for that is because a lot of these are the islands specifically are zones that you can't build on because those are the spawn points. But a couple of these islands are actually pretty decent. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't necessarily recommend building in the water biome, mostly because there's not a whole lot of teams, there's not a whole lot of resources. So what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and found, I mean, it's pretty, like you can see here, a lot of them are pretty equal, pretty much the same things over and over again. So you can, if you just want a high up area that's going to be hard for someone to raid, outside of maybe like Quet's raiding, you can pick literally any one of those. What I did is I went ahead and checked the resources to see if I could find one that may be a little bit more advantageous in terms of being able to build on. And what I found here is this one here, 4349. The reason I'm going to recommend it is because A, it's pretty high up. There's no walkway, obviously. It's pretty similar to the rest of these guys in terms of that. It does have a good amount of starting materials up at the top. However, if you actually come down here and you go along this little ridge here, this probably has the most amount of metal that I've seen on any of them. Probably not a good start. since there's none down there. Here we go. So this has probably one of the most amount of metals that I've seen in terms of any of the other islands in the water zone. And as you can see, it has quite a bit. It also has some salt, has some general, wood, berries, things like that as well. You will need some sort of flyer, probably like an RG or something to carry it across. In addition to that island over there, you also have this little island right here, which has a decent amount of metal on it. Let's see if we can see it here. Decent amount of metal, not a lot, but a little bit here, and then a little bit more over here. Again, not a ton. Your best bet's going to be farming over on that little island over there. If you can keep people from building on it, you should be able to farm it up pretty well. And it does have by far the most amount of resources you're going to find anywhere else in this entire biome. So I think it's probably a good starter point for base number 5 here. Here we have number 4. So this is going to be in the volcano biome. Now this biome has not a whole lot of options, to be honest with you. It's crazy because this map is just such a PvE map. Now before I actually show you the location, I did want to go ahead and show you just a couple of things. This is probably the area I found the most metal, which is part of the reason that I'm making sure I include this. So as you can see, we have a ton of rich nodes here. Part of the reason they have it here is because the volcano's up there and it does erupt a good amount. And there's a couple other spots here. There's metal pretty much, that's probably the biggest metal node location. Another metal node location down over there. But here's the actual base location. As you can see, we've got one of these little metal discs here. Same thing as some of the obelisks and some of the other things you can actually build on here. You can actually put the cliff flats on top. You can't build directly without using the little pillar trick here that I went ahead and showed you guys just a little bit ago. But you can actually get whatever size of base you want on here. And as you can see, this thing's going to be pretty big. So you got a lot of room to work with. You've got a lot of materials around here, not so much on the wood, but you've got tons of stone, tons of silver, tons of metal. And also right over here, I actually found that this is going to be the best spot, not that specifically, but this right over here, the entrance is right here. This is going to be the best entrance to quickly grab some of those new eggs for the Magmasaur. So make sure you guys check out the Magmasaur video if you want to know a little bit more about that, but that should get you pretty close to there. Gives you a good amount of resources, gives you another nice secure base location. Now it is kind of out in the open. You may be able to get sniped from here. I'm not we are loading the actual base from here, so this is probably one of your only areas that you're probably going to get griefed from. But again, not a bad location. It's going to give you a lot of working area, a good secure base location to start off with. The only downside is you do need a cliff plat, so if you don't want to build here, you don't need it, or you don't have a cliff platform yet, make sure you guys check out one of the other base spots. Okay, moving on over to number 3, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the bog. Now there's a couple of things you need to kind of notice here. Set at about 8460. It's one of these big beacons, which is supposed to be one of the obelisks, I believe. Anyway, as you can see, we can't build in here. Now, typically I look for resources. I look for quite a few other things when I'm, looking for a base location. I want you guys to be able to farm easy, I want you guys to be able to tame easy, etc. Now, what I've noticed about the bog is the bog's actually pretty good with a lot of resources. You're going to find metal underneath pretty much every single one of these trees. If I get rid of that, you'll see there's a bunch of trees out here. There's a bunch of metal in and around all of those. And then obviously we're in a swamp, so you're going to have plenty of trees. So you got two of the main, the main basic resources down. Now, you can't build here, right? However, what you can do is you can build up here on top of the obelisk. Now, if you aren't aware of the trick, I've already shown you once here, but I'm going to show you guys one more time. You can actually utilize the cliff plats on top of these obelisks. They are solid structures, so you can build on top of them. You're going to want to be a little bit careful because there are kind of a lot of lips here, so you want to make sure you're building properly so you're not getting wet stove. But if you go ahead and just put something down here up on top, you can literally cover the entire thing. It's actually going to work out pretty well, I think. And if you're not aware, I'm going to show you guys one more time. You guys can go ahead and do it this way as well. So we'll just go ahead and put something down right here towards the edge. It's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Might not work because I think I put that one a little bit too low. Let's try one right here. No, it's not working because I made a bob. Yeah, I put these ones too low. I'll have to put it up a little bit higher. Anyway, I showed you guys how to do this already, so here, we'll just do it one more time. Maybe it will work this time here. Put it near the edge. There we go. Holy. Sorry, I'm in a little bit fast mode here, so it's actually going to let me do it a little bit. It's not wanting to work for me. I'm not going to slow it down. Anyway, you guys get the idea. You can build off the clip platforms. You guys don't even need this. Once you guys actually have the foundation down, it's going to work just fine. You can pull those off and you can build up here. Now, you're really, really high up. Nothing is obviously going to be able to mess with you unless they actually bring some sort of flyer to come out here. And in my opinion, I think this is going to be one of the better building spots. Okay, moving on to base location number 2. So I think this is actually going to be another good base location. This is one of the only caves that is going to be a viable cave. Most of the caves are actually blocked off, and as you can see, they actually kind of sort of started to block this one off, but it doesn't look like they ended up doing it. I don't know exactly if they just didn't do it properly. It kind of seems like that. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if this one's kind of patched out a little bit later, and part of the reason I'll show you here in just a second. Anyway, real quick, entrance is going to be at 25, 26, give or take, and we are on the outer space biome. So take a look here. Now, the reason I'm going to recommend this, usually I wouldn't recommend this, especially because it's such a big opening. This right here is just one of 2 openings. Here's the other opening right up here. Now, as you can see, while part of it is blocked off inside, you can build it both openings, and that's not even actually the base location. The base location itself is going to be down here. As you can see, it's only about 2 foundations wide, give or take, and probably another 5 or 6 walls high. And we have 2 locations here. You can actually build right up to this point, and on the other side that I showed you already where we came in, you can build up here, you can build whatever you need up here. So you can get pretty decent turret or defenses all the way up to this point. Gives you a good amount of room. Now inside here is pretty open. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of a block here, and this is where I think, I don't know if they just didn't, or if they messed up or whatever. Anyway, you can block off this entrance as well, so let's count this as the actual first entrance. Those other 2 out there are just going to be kind of some extra defensive areas that you can block off. It's going to be a little bit easier to defend here. So if you went ahead and put up 1 turret wall here, you're only going to have 1 more entrance. It's going to be right here. This is going to be more of a crawl space. I don't even think you can fit a trike through this little spot here. It's going to be a little bit more oil cave-esque from Valguero. And as you can see, there's not really much out here. It's just pretty much a drop straight down. So this is going to be a pretty easily defended spot. Not very many people are going to be coming up this way anyway, and you can probably just put a tower out here and stop most people. So you can defend this area pretty well. And if we look on the inside, like I said, there's a ton of room. You do have to kind of be careful because you basically have like a build ceiling that you have to work with and work around. They did leave it back here pretty open, so you can stack things pretty well here. You can probably get 2, maybe a little bit more floors here if you build properly on the inside. You also have water where it looks like it looks pretty deep. I would say you probably have enough room here for squids, or really some of the other ones that you're going to need to be breeding for the new water boss anyway. And then if you notice, right here at the entrance, it's actually pretty high, so you should be able to defend however you want, build it however you want for the defenses. And then once again, same thing here. There's nothing blocking you from actually building the defenses pretty properly, or how you're going to need to for this one specifically. You can build up here on the back wall, whatever you want to do. You guys know how to defend your guys' own bases, but I think this is going to be a really, really good base location, and really the only cave base location that I found on the entire map. That doesn't mean there's not going to be 1 or 2 more that come up over the next little bit as we kind of discover the map a little bit more, but I think this is going to be another great, actually probably one of the best base locations that's currently available. And last but not least, the top base location in this video. Now, we needed one here for the snow, and I think I found a good one. If you look here, a lot of the actual mountain itself is blocked off. A good chunk of this area in general is blocked off, but if you've watched my Phae Rocks video, you'll know that this area up here, this is the very east side of the map. Pull up the map here. If you look at the very east side of the map here, you'll notice that as you get into this area, it becomes more and more of a blizzard. Now, once you get to a certain point, the further back you go, the less you can actually see. Obviously, night, day, things like that are going to affect it a little bit as well. The longer you stay in here, apparently the worse it gets. It's one of those little hints that Helena gives you, and the longer you stay in here, the harder it gets to see, and I think the more damage you take. Now, this is kind of like a sandstorm, however, and once you get inside, it's not so bad. and you can actually build up on top of these. So this can be a pretty good self-based defense, and you also have really high areas. No one can walk to it. People are gonna have to actually get up on top of, or use a flyer to actually get to your base. I'm not gonna necessarily pick one of these specific spots for you myself. You obviously have a couple of these big pillars here, and in the very back you have another one of those little metal things that you have to do the cliff flat trick to build on top of. It's at the very back, so if you want the most defense you're going to get out of one of these, as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit even harder to actually see in here. This is probably going to be the best spot for you to build if you want the furthest away, most defense that you're going to get from this specifically. The only thing I'm going to say with this is I'm not sure if they fixed it. There's rumors that they fixed I a little bit with the most recent patch. Obviously, there's probably going to be a ways around it. Who knows? But I think this area in general, anywhere on the east side of this map, if you want to pick that spot, if you want to pick one of these other cliffs, take a look at some of these. I think this is going to be the best area for you to build. Now, is it going to be a great area to farm? Probably not. It does look like there's a good amount of wood down here. If you want Phae rocks, there's a ton of Phae rocks down here. Really, it does, you know, actually it looks like there's a decent amount of at least the stone and the wood. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up here for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys agree. And remember, none of these are necessarily in a specific order. I did kind of put them in order based off of what I think in terms of where I would build out of those top 5 spots. But this is a very much so a PvE map. And I just went ahead and tried to make it the best PvP base locations that I could find for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If there are some new ones coming out, maybe I'll put up an updated video, as this is a brand new map. I'm sure we'll find a couple of new things here. Remember, I'm going to go ahead and try and put up a top 5 hidden base locations, if I can find any. They're doing a pretty good job. I've been searching. As you can see, this map is pretty clear at this point. I've done a lot of looking around the map, and I haven't really found a whole lot of hidden little sections. I'm sure they're there. We'll figure them out. We'll find them for you guys, and we'll put up a video. Anyway, once again, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, use the comments or the Discord, which you can find below. Thanks so much, and see you guys next time.